Hi everybody, I'm Calikoi and today we'll be discussing Twilight. Mostly Breaking Dawn, but Twilight in general. My brothers didn't like to read when they were growing up, so I didn't really get to read many books because we just didn't have any in our house and like no one was recommending them to me. The first series I really read was probably like Magic Tree House or like Goosebumps, but those you can kind of read in any order almost, and it's not really like a story. It's just kind of like a whole bunch of little episodic books, or like the books are almost always self-contained except for like the whole what's-her-face storyline, the Magic Lady storyline in Magic Tree House. But because of that, I didn't really get into books. So when I was younger, I was never into Harry Potter or A Series of Unfortunate Events. I tried to get into that one, but we didn't have it. Or we only had like the last 3 books, so I couldn't read it. So it was kind of like annoying. And then my friend suggested Warriors, which is a book about cats who like are in clans and they fight each other. And I really liked it. The only problem was I didn't realize that I never really made the connection that other books had like an order. So I just grabbed a random one and I was kind of confused, so I never really got to read those in order, and it kind of like annoyed me. So the first book I ever read in chronological order that was a series that was super story driven was Twilight. This is Breaking Dawn because my Twilight's in I have the collectible hardcover pack and they're all in there, and I have The Short Life of Britannia right next to it. And I loved it. It was a book that was a love story, and there was a lot of drama, and it was just like everything I wanted to read in 7th grade. And this is before hating it was like cool. So all my friends that were girls liked it. I busted through books so fast. Like my friends who lent me the books didn't believe me that I was done with the book to lend me the next one, to the point where they quizzed me on like things that happened in the book. I think this is like the 3rd time I reread it, I realized there's a lot of things I don't like about it. It was probably when I was starting to reach the I hate Twilight phase that everyone went through, and it was annoying because I didn't actually hate it. I actually think they're like okay, and it could help someone get into reading, and then once they get into it they can find other books that have like slightly better storytelling and stuff. But most of my problems are in this book because all the other books they're like leading up to Breaking Dawn, the huge book, and like things could happen and I'd be like, okay, they're gonna fix it, it's gonna get better. I was very strongly Team Jacob. He was my favorite. I liked him so much more than Edward. I liked Alice. It was basically Jacob and Alice. They were my favorite. I loved them the most. And I wanted Bella to pick Jacob because I just thought he was like the better guy. And then I reread it. I still liked him better than Edward. But I realized my favorite character was Leah, and she was done so dirty. Sorry, there's gonna be spoilers, but Twilight came out a long time ago, so I actually do recommend you read it just for the culture, just so you know what everyone's talking about when they talk about Twilight. And also, it's kind of like fun and it's guilty pleasure. It's like Riverdale or like Vampire Diaries. It's something that's like kind of stupid, but like you're into it. Leah is best girl. Don't at me. I will fight you if you say I'm wrong. She was done so dirty. Sorry for the banging. First of all, her boyfriend, who she thought she was gonna marry, breaks up with her for her best friend, who is also her cousin. And like, he's creepily attached to her. And like, she doesn't know about werewolves yet, so he can't be like, oh, I imprinted on her. I will get back to imprinting and why I hate it later. But he's like, he can't tell her the like reason is because creepy werewolf magic. And then secondly, her dad dies. That's just sad. And then all the guys she grows up with start hanging out with Sam, who broke up with her, which isn't cool. And then she becomes the first female werewolf ever. And I know I'm calling them werewolves, and technically they're shapeshifters, and werewolves are something different, but I didn't understand that. That confused me. That was pointless. They just wanted to change it at the last second, I think. I don't know. But technically, she becomes the first female werewolf. And because of that, she doesn't know if she can have kids. And she's always stuck inside her ex-boyfriend's head. And she has the right to be bitter because, like, he left her for her cousin. Creepy werewolf magic aside, she's allowed to be mad at that. And then everyone's always complaining about how she's so mean and bitter. But she has to listen to it all day, and she has to, like, listen to her ex-boyfriend be super in love with her cousin and all that. And then she finally gets to leave. She runs off with Jacob's group. And I thought her and Jacob were gonna fall in love. I thought that was gonna be the way. I thought it was gonna be how they're gonna redeem it, how they're gonna make Jacob and her happy, because they're both like, yeah, we're in this together. We're like people who feel kind of left out, and we're people who've been abandoned and all that. And they were gonna, like, I thought they were gonna get together. And then he falls in love with, like, they hinted at it at one point in this book. I forgot what the thing was, because last time I reread it was like high school. But I remember them hinting at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen, and it'll be so great, because Seth loves Jake because he's like the older brother you never had, and then they can all just be like a happy little trio of wolves who are friends with the vampires. But then no, he imprints on a newborn. I'm gonna get into imprinting. I don't like it, and I don't like that they did it to Jacob. I don't like that was the reason, like, oh, he's so in love with Bella because the egg of his future wife is inside of her. That's creepy and weird. And I get it, it could be like this thing that's weird and like it's something they have to suffer from. But I feel like him going with the imprint was basically going against his character, because I remember at some point he was like, yeah, imprinting's stupid, I don't like it, I want to be in love to be in love, I don't want to be in love because I have to because of creepy wolf magic. But you know what? That's what happened to him, and that's so sad. And now, like, he doesn't get to choose who he loves. He doesn't get to, like, be his own person. He's like, in it with the creepy wolf magic, I gotta babysit this child till she becomes old enough to fall in love with me, and it's not creepy. And that's weird. Renesmee, I didn't... The whole Renesmee thing was kind of weird. Like, I get, like, her being born and it being, like, this whole thing that the whole book is based around. It's all about the fact that she's born and everyone's gonna go to war because of it, because they don't like that she exists. And that's fine. But, like, I feel like they wanted, like, it to be different. Like, if she just stayed an infant, because that's how she's born, she's just born in it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me how a vampire baby works. Because it seems like they just wanted the perfect happy ending, because if they were gonna give her the, oh, because she's half vampire, she ages fast, and then they made it get so she ages fast and never stops aging fast, that would have been so sad. It would have been like, oh, that sucks. But they wanted, like, the perfect happy ending, which is also why no one dies in the freaking war, which I will get back to. I keep mentioning things. It's all connected. Because they wanted it to be the perfect happy ending. She's gonna age until she's, like, at her peak, so she's gonna age till, like, she's 21. And then just stop aging, and I think that's stupid. Because that means Jacob can never stop aging, because he doesn't get to live the rest of his life, which sucks! Jacob and Leah got the short ends of the stick, and I'm mad. Also, Renesmee's, like, born, and she already knows who she's gonna have to end up with. That sucks for her. Rosalie was, like, lightweight. She's one of the other characters that I feel like got, like, screwed over kind of, because Rosalie, all she wanted was a baby. All she wants is a baby. The reason she doesn't want Bella to turn into a vampire is because she's like, no, you want a baby, you're gonna want this. And then Bella's like, nah, it's whatever. And then Bella gets it anyway, and then Rosalie's just like, oh, I'm cool, Auntie Rosalie. She was great. She was the best vampire, hands down. Alice was cool, but Rosalie was best. Her backstory is so sad. Like, she was gonna marry this guy, and then he, like, does a bad thing. And then she has to, like, kill him. Like, oh my gosh, it's so sad. I mentioned earlier that Stephenie Meyer wanted the perfect happy ending. And her story suffered from that. Because she wanted Jacob to be happy in, like, a way where he's still Bella still kind of has him. Because now Bella gets to be in love with Edward, but Jacob stays around forever now because he's in love with her daughter. So yay, Bella gets everything she wants. No one dies, so Bella doesn't have to feel bad about being the reason that someone else died. Which is, yay, everyone gets everything, she gets everything she wants. And her baby is special, and she's special, and her husband's special. And they have a giant pet dog now whose name is Jacob. And everyone just kind of like gets inconvenienced. And then Bella gets to live her perfect life. And she like doesn't really do anything, which is the problem a lot of people had with this. But another point, the ending of the movie was so much better than the ending of the books, because in the book, Alice walks up, touches Arrow or whatever his face's name is, and then he's like, oh yeah, we should leave. At least in the book, in the movie, you get to see what could have happened, but then they cop out and do the actual ending from the book. But at least you got to like see why he's like, oh yeah, we gotta go. We can't be here anymore. But anyways, that's my rant about Twilight. I would recommend you read it because it's a fun guilty pleasure read, and maybe it'll help you get back into reading because it's really easy to read too. And I guess at the end, I am gonna start doing more book reviews on this channel. So if you have any recommendations for a book you want me to read, you can leave them in the comments. And the next one I'm doing, I think I'm either gonna do Hamlet or Lord of the Flies next. So if you want to see those, subscribe. And if you like this video, like it. And if you like me, subscribe. I'll see you when I finish Hamlet or Lord of the Flies for another book review, and I'll see you tomorrow with some random video. Okay, I'm rambling at this point. I hope you guys like this. Talk to you later. Bye!